Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and see another Coast Guard recruitment video. Heroic rescues in towering waves. Gleaming white cutters slicing through pristine blue waters. Proud sailors in crisp uniforms, saving lives with cinematic precision. The narrator's voice booms about honor, respect, and devotion to duty. But here's what they don't show you. The 22-year-old machinist's mate, who hasn't slept more than 4 hours straight in 3 weeks, standing watch at 3 a.m. while fighting seasickness and wondering if his girlfriend back home is still answering his texts. They don't show you the broken equipment held together with creative engineering and prayer, or the reality that your heroic rescue mission might mean risking your life to save someone who ignored every weather warning to go fishing. Welcome to the real world of Coast Guard cutter life, where the ocean doesn't care about your problems, your schedule, or your sanity. The sleep deprivation nightmare, when rest becomes a luxury. Let's start with something basic. Sleep. You know, that thing humans need to function. Forget everything you thought you knew about a good night's rest. On a Coast Guard cutter, you'll work something called the 1 in 3 watch schedule. That means every third period, you're on duty for 4 to 6 hours. Sounds manageable, right? Wrong. Research from the Coast Guard's own studies reveals crew members regularly work 18-hour days, with some reporting less than 5 hours of sleep per night for weeks on. But here's the kicker. It's not just the schedule, it's everything else that destroys your sleep. The constant noise, diesel engines rumbling 24/7, ventilation systems howling, metal creaking and groaning with every wave. The motion. Try sleeping when your bed is literally rocking, rolling, and occasionally launching you into the wall. The stress, when your next watch might involve a life or death rescue, peaceful sleep becomes impossible. The interruptions, emergency calls, drills, all hands announcements at 2 a.m. studies document, wakefulness degradation, and circadian disruption as chronic problems on Coast Guard cutters. In plain English, your body clock gets so screwed up that you feel like you're living in a perpetual state of jet lag. Isolation, when the ocean becomes your prison. Think solitary confinement sounds bad. Try being trapped on a 210-foot floating metal box with 75 other stressed, sleep-deprived people for months at a time. The psychological warfare of cutter life goes far beyond just missing home. The physical isolation is crushing. During extended patrols, you might go 60 to 90 days without seeing land, breathing fresh air, or having a single moment of true privacy. Your personal space is a rack, bed, roughly the size of a coffin, where you sleep inches from another person doing the same job, feeling the same stress, breathing the same recycled air. The digital isolation is worse. Modern Coast Guard cutters struggle with connectivity, leaving crews digitally stranded. While your friends back home are posting Instagram stories and video chatting, you're lucky to get a choppy phone call once a week. That relationship you thought was solid. Good luck maintaining it when your girlfriend can go days without hearing from you, and when she does, you're too exhausted to have a meaningful conversation. The social isolation is toxic. You're stuck with the same faces, the same personalities, the same conflicts day after day. That annoying guy who chews loudly, you'll hear him at every meal for the next 3 months. The person who never showers properly. Guess who's sleeping 6 feet away from you? Small irritations become massive problems when there's literally nowhere to escape. The equipment crisis, MacGyvering your way to survival. Here's something the recruitment videos don't mention. Coast Guard cutters are often floating museums of outdated, broken, and jury-rigged equipment. The Government Accountability Office recently reported that the Coast Guard faces increasing challenges operating and maintaining its fleet of 241 cutters due to deferred maintenance and aging systems. What does this mean for you as a crew member? It means your life depends on equipment from the 1980s. Some cutters are still using systems older than their crew members. Creative maintenance becomes a survival skill. When a critical system breaks at sea, you can't call tech support. You become a combination mechanic, electrician, and miracle worker. Safety becomes negotiable. When the choice is between a risky repair and a failed mission, Guess which one command chooses. Your job description becomes whatever it takes. Electronics technician. Congratulations, you're also the plumber, the HVAC specialist, and the emergency welder. The staffing crisis. Doing 3 jobs poorly instead of 1 job well. The Coast Guard is experiencing a personnel shortage of approximately 3,500 people, nearly 10% of their total force. This crisis has resulted in 10 cutters being sidelined and 29 stations operating below capacity. For you, this means impossible workloads. You're not just doing your job, you're covering for the positions they couldn't fill. Extended deployments. That 60-day patrol. Sorry, make it 90 days because there's no one to relieve you. No backup. When you're sick, injured, or having a mental health crisis, there's no one to take your place. Burnout becomes inevitable. The human body and mind weren't designed for this level of sustained stress. Mental health, the silent epidemic. Let's talk about something the Coast Guard is finally starting to acknowledge, the mental health crisis among its personnel. Despite increased awareness, crew members still face stigma, fear losing their careers, and struggle with lack of trust in command when it comes to seeking help. The perfect storm for mental health problems. Chronic sleep deprivation affecting judgment and emotional regulation, social isolation destroying support networks, high stress environment with life or death consequences, substance abuse as a coping mechanism, relationship problems from extended separations and communication difficulties, career fears preventing people from seeking help. The result, Coast Guard personnel face elevated rates of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and suicide. The service has implemented programs and training, but the fundamental stressors of cutter life remain unchanged. Family life, collateral damage. Your family didn't sign up for this, but they're serving too. Coast Guard families face unique challenges that recruitment materials barely mention. Spouses become single parents for months at a time, handling everything from sick kids to major life decisions alone. Children grow up with an absent parent who misses birthdays, school plays, and first steps. Relationships crumble under the strain of extended separations and poor communication. The reality is that Coast Guard missions keep you away from home frequently, sometimes for days, sometimes for nearly a year, depending on your assignment. While you're out there serving your country, your family is paying the price. The physical toll your body as a casualty Coast Guard cutter. Life doesn't just damage your mental health and relationships, it literally destroys your body. Sleep deprivation weakens your immune system, impairs cognitive function, and increases injury risk. Chronic stress leads to high blood pressure, heart problems, and digestive issues. Poor nutrition from limited food options and irregular meal times compounds health problems. Physical dangers from working with heavy machinery and rough seas create constant injury risks. Exposure to hazardous materials during drug interdiction and environmental response missions poses long-term health risks. Limited medical care at sea means minor problems can become major issues. The economic reality, risking everything for almost nothing. Let's talk money. Coast Guard pay scales are identical to other military branches, but the quality of life comparison is stark. While Air Force personnel might deploy to bases with gyms, restaurants, and Wi-Fi, you're getting seasick while eating months-old vegetables and hoping the satellite phone works. The hidden costs include family counseling for relationships strained by deployment, health problems from the physical and mental toll, limited civilian job skills from highly specialized military training, educational challenges from irregular schedules and poor internet connectivity. Why do people stay? The Stockholm Syndrome of the sea. So why do some people voluntarily sign up for this punishment, and why do some even re-enlist? It's complicated. The mission matters. When you do save someone's life, when you do intercept drugs that won't make it to American streets, when you do protect the marine environment, it feels significant in a way few civilian jobs can match. The camaraderie is real. Shared suffering creates bonds that last lifetimes. Your shipmates understand you in ways your civilian friends never will. The skills are unique. Where else can you learn to operate complex vessels, work with advanced technology, and handle life or death situations before you're 25? But here's the truth. For many people, the costs far outweigh the benefits. The brutal bottom line. Life as a Coast Guard cutter crewman isn't the heroic adventure the recruiters promise. It's a grinding combination of sleep deprivation, social isolation, equipment failures, understaffing, mental health challenges, family sacrifice, and physical deterioration, all for the privilege of risking your life in some of the world's most dangerous waters. Before you sign on that dotted line, ask yourself, are you prepared for months of isolation and sleep deprivation? Can your relationship survive extended separations and poor communication? Are you willing to risk your mental and physical health for the mission? Do you have the technical skills and mental resilience to operate aging equipment in life-threatening conditions? The ocean doesn't care about your problems, your comfort, or your safety. Neither does the bureaucracy that will send you out there. If you choose this path, you're signing up for one of the most demanding, thankless, and potentially dangerous jobs in America. The recruiters won't tell you this. Your friends and family can't understand it. But now you know the truth. The question is, what are you going to do with it?